So, somehow this is real life. Got my Navy swag on here. Quickly, I want to thank Cody Warner for the luxury of having his behind the scenes footage to use to put together that intro. And that intro, speaking of, was just the first half of this shoot, believe it or not. So we will dive into the second half as well as the first half right after we roll that intro. All right, if you couldn't tell from that intro, that was quite the experience. And that being said, this right here might look like a camera, but to me, it's more like a key to adventures like this one that I'm talking about today. And it's been a key to many more in my life. So I just encourage y'all from the onset here to make sure you're using yours to its fullest potential, because there's no reason you can't be having experiences like this one that we'll run through today. Okay, so let's just get into it. Now, this is the third uniform photo shoot I've done with the Naval Academy over the past year. And I'll link the previous two shoots up here if you haven't seen them and are interested in checking them out. All of these shoots have been a lot of fun and produced some memorable results. And this one obviously raised the bar a little bit. It's just not every day that you have the opportunity to spend a couple nights on an active aircraft carrier. I mean, really. I don't even know where to start on this one, so I guess I'll just go with walking onto the ship early in the morning hours, or early morning hours of the first day, when we got somewhat acclimated to where we would be spending the better part of the next 3 days. First stop was checking out our cozy accommodations that just happened to be directly underneath the flight deck. So to say we were fully immersed in this experience would be an understatement. It's hard to completely express the noise and vibration that was going on during flight operations without y'all being there. We even had paint that was coming off the ceiling of our room. Okay, but let me back up. So the theme to the uniform for this year is Fly Navy. And that specifically involved the F-18s the Navy flies off of the carriers. And instead of just taking pictures of the uniform in a studio, we were in for the full experience. And when I talk about the full experience, to keep these planes flying, there are so many people involved, from the ground crews to maintenance to safety. And that doesn't even take into account all the people it takes to keep a ship like this running. So, I mean, let's face it, the cool stuff are the planes and the pilots, taking off and landing. But I'm really thankful to have been given the opportunity to see everything else, or most everything, that it takes to keep the whole ship underway. And I feel having that knowledge only helped with the approach and execution of the creative for this project. So I guess we'll just jump to the flight deck photo shoot on the first sunrise we had. I mean, I could go on and on about this experience, but I know the focus of this channel is photography, so I guess I better stay on topic. Okay, so for set dressing out there on the deck, we had to wait for the F-18s to make it out to the ship later in the day on the first day that we walked on. They apparently had some communication issues, so our first real access onto the flight deck ended up being the next morning at sunrise. Obviously, we would be at the mercy of Mother Nature, but she didn't disappoint and gave us the perfect blend of sun and clouds. Now, as you can see from some of the footage from that morning, you can tell that we were both filming and capturing stills at the same time. Therefore, I wasn't really able to use strobes, and on top of that, we were running and gunning, so it was really down to me just to use natural light and my in-camera settings to most effectively capture what we needed. Now, from the day before, when we watched the planes come in, land, and then take off, we could see the steam coming up from the catapult system. Fortunately, the sailors running that system were nice enough to turn it on for us while we were on deck that morning, and it was awesome. Not only were we on the deck of a carrier actively sailing in the Atlantic at sunrise with a deck full of F-18s and a model in the incredible Navy uniform, we now had steam coming up from the deck. I mean, that might just be what you see in the dictionary when you look up settings for epic photography. I mean, it's just a crazy, crazy experience. And, if I didn't get good pictures, it was really all on me. So let me also touch on something else that added to the stress of that, which was completely crazy. So for my cameras, I was using the Canon R5s, one with the 24-70 2.8 and the other with the 70-200 2.8. And I was having problems. Not the cameras or my fault, but something with the radar or other technology coming from the ship's island, which is the tower. It was affecting these cameras. For a time, when we first got out on the flight deck there, both my cameras were locking up and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I set and reset my lenses, changed the memory cards, pulled out the batteries on multiple occasions, but nothing consistently stopped it from happening. One camera was even set back to factory defaults. And I actually have one of the Insta360s 1R little cameras that I was going to wear to give kind of a one-to-one perspective of what was going on. But every file that I tried to record out on the flight deck was corrupted. So fortunately, it was intermittent and I was able to get the shots, but I'd be lying if there weren't a few stressful moments there when I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Now, next up was that evening when we attended what they call the FOD, or Foreign Object Debris Walk. And we got some really cool pictures with our player who was out ahead of the flight deck crew as they walk down and grab any debris they see there on the deck to prevent it from being pulled into one of the jet's engines. So that gave us a unique opportunity to actually get the ship's flight deck crew in an image with our player in the uniform. So we all thought that was really important to kind of include the crew that makes everything happen on the flight deck within one of these photos. Okay, so for the sake of time, I'll skip ahead a little bit. Now after we were cat launched in a C-2A Greyhound and landed back at the naval base in Virginia, we had an afternoon sunset shoot out on the tarmac. The next day, which was the fourth day on this shoot, we spent more time on the tarmac at sunrise, which unfortunately was clouded in, but if I were to trade sunrises, I would definitely stress the one that we were on the boat. But then we put together a full studio setup in one of the hangars at the Naval Air Station.
What do you think of the location here, JQ?
I think this is a once-in-a-lifetime location right here. This is got to be right up there with the coolest of locations I've ever tried to put a setup on. So, totally enjoying this process.
You ready?
Ready to rock, ready to rock.
That looks really good.
Now, I hope this video somewhat kind of conveys the experience that we all had during this shoot. I mean, it's really tough with trying to describe just how fun and, you know, out of the norm and just pretty much amazing the experience of being able to create these images for the Naval Academy, being sent out to an aircraft carrier, all that stuff is just, it was phenomenal. And I'm hoping this video comes across as more as something motivational for you that are watching this and just showing you what is possible just with a camera, basically. I mean, this is, if I didn't have this, I would not be on this trip. So, you know, my goal here is just to stress that anything is possible when you push yourself and you're passionate about photography and just doors will open for you. So I'm hoping that that's the message you garner here from this video above anything else. You know, the pictures are cool. The experience obviously was once in a lifetime, but I'm just hoping that I can convey that to you out there. So you keep pushing forward, because it's not easy trying to make a living you know, in this business you know, with the camera. And it's 24/7, 365 to do it. But if you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel like work, and you know, you just can open up so many amazing doors that lead to these incredible photo shoots and adventures. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope y'all have enjoyed, you know, seeing some of the pictures. Also, on here, it's really not my job to photo dump everything that we created there. I'm going to leave a link down below to the Navy website where you can go check out some more of the images and what they crafted together from the video portion as well as the photo portion from our trip out there on the carrier and then on the naval base. So, I mean, it's been quite a fall here. So I'm gonna wrap it there. You know, if y'all want to see more content like this, I've got some exciting stuff still to come, even this week, I hope. Please hit that subscribe button down there and the little notification bell so YouTube will let you know when I'm back on here. In the meantime, please, you can follow me on social media. I'll be dropping some of these images there on Instagram and Twitter at QuantzPhoto. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I should be here again soon in the next one.